What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Black and White Bodybuilding, where nothing is black and white except for your hosts. My name is Logan Schultz, and this is IFBB Pro 2025, a qualified classic physique competitor, Paul Conyu.
That was crazy.
How's your week been, bro? How's your last 7 days been?
Well, first it was Hell Week. So peak week was very interesting, but it wasn't like crazy. Well, it was crazy a little bit. To be honest, my prep, the entirety of the prep has been like super easy. But then the last 2 days of like peak week was fucking hell.
Really?
So working with Phil Viz, he's like very meticulous and everything had to be on point. And this was like the first time where I was forced to like, just be like 100% on point with everything. And man, dude, I cried to my wife. I legit cried to my wife because I was just like, fuck, this is so hard. This is so fucking hard. So that's because like I've never pushed myself like that before. And most coaches I've had in the past never forced me to push myself like that before. But he did. And I was just, I wasn't like crying because it was a bad thing. I was crying because I was finally realizing like, so this is what it takes to take shit to the next level. It's fucking hard, man. It's fucking hard.
Hey, welcome to White Guy Genetic World.
But like the cool thing though, like I like legit won my show like anonymously by just a landslide.
Yeah.
Which was so dumb.
Yeah, you look phenomenal.
I don't know what I look like yet because I didn't get a chance to kind of like visually see what I look like on stage because I didn't have pictures. I didn't have anyone take pictures except for stuff that my wife took, which was from far away. So I don't really know what I looked like from the show.
I haven't gone and looked on NPC News to see if they've posted like the pictures. I know they got nationals like within 24.
They always do.
So yeah, my last 7 days obviously went through peak week as well. My peak week was actually probably one of the more fun peak weeks I've had because I didn't have to eat less than 300 grams of carbs all week. And we kind of just tapered off of cardio and, most of my days were pretty high food and my weight, it was very, very predictable as to like what I was going to go to bed at, what I was going to wake up at, because I was drinking the exact same amount of water. I was eating the same food at the same times. And so it was just those last couple of days, like manipulating the water to make sure that I was dry and full, come prejudging. And this was the first time that I've ever, well, it's not the first time. There was one other time that I had a coach in person for nationals, but that didn't turn out great. This time, though, was the first time Andrew has seen me in person. And, he looked at me Wednesday through Saturday. And I think I only sent him pictures like 2 or 3 times the entire time. So every other time was in person after every meal, So he got a really good look of like what happens to my body throughout the day. And we nailed it. I'm just too small.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah, but at least you're close to your cap.
I was under by 10 pounds.
Were you really?
On stage.
Okay.
Yeah. I was, because I've done multiple shows this year where I was at my cap.
Mm-hmm.
The first show I did was in Ireland. I was 197, almost 198, a little bit over my weight cap. And then the second show was the Dubai Pro. I was actually 192, but I looked way worse than I did in Ireland at 197. And then this one, after the show was over, I probably was at like 187, 189, maybe. But after the show was over, I went home. I stepped on the scale and it said 186 pounds. So I could have been lighter. Could have been 183, 184.
You said 186?
Yeah, that's what the scale showed after the show was over. And I was like eating a good amount of food.
You needed it because, you lost that weight and you won, right? So,
yeah.
I saw the videos and the pictures leading up to the show, and it looked like you were getting harder and harder, and those glute lines were getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah, they really were. That's why I was like, I don't know what I look like. But there was one picture where Phil Viz posted, it was from the show, where like my glutes were just like, so it wasn't like a clear picture. So I'm definitely waiting to see what that looks like. Like an actual professional picture, which I paid for. Yeah, so yeah, I was way under the cap, but now we have room to add an extra 10, 15 pounds potentially
Yep,
to come in for the Olympia.
that's great. Yeah, I my weight basically the entire week. I'd gotten down to 189, but my weight basically the entire week was like 192, and then I would go to bed at like 200 to 202, and then
Mm.
wake up at 192 really consistently. And then the day of the show, I woke up at 194, and then we did two small meals because he wanted to keep my stomach really tight for my vacuums, you know.
Mm.
And after prejudging, and we knew that I was in second call outs, he was like, "All right, let's see how full we can get you." So I went to this gourmet burger spot that I was going to go to that night anyways. And I went and had a burger and fries. And I didn't like just have like a plain burger and fries. Like I had a gourmet burger and fries, right? Like I ate, and I had a cookie, and I went back to the hotel and took a little 30-minute nap. And about 2 hours after the meal, I stepped on the scale and I was 194 again. So I think I was on stage at probably 192 and a half, because he then told me to go have another burger and fries. And I came back at like 195.6 for finals.
Solid. Yeah, that's relatively. What was your weight cap?
209.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So I've legit got probably 20 pounds to play with.
Yeah. Did you guys discuss how you're going to handle the off season?
We're taking the next 8 weeks as a health phase. In 6 weeks, I am going to Europe for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're going to Italy, France, and Spain.
Yay.
Yeah. So back down, TRT, running all the health sups, get bloods back in line, which they really weren't that bad, to be honest with you. I was a little shocked.
Mm.
And then we'll, push the envelope after that.
Yeah, I'm still on a cycle.
This is your first time doing that, huh?
Yeah, it's my first. Yeah, it's fucking weird. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking weird. I'm like, I was like, when he told me, like, he was like, yeah, we're gonna rebound. I'm like, does he mean the rebound where like you're not on a cycle and you kind of try to like chill out for a bit, or does he mean the rebound from back in the day where like you are on a cycle?
Yeah.
And then I looked at the stuff and I was like, fuck, he meant the other one.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it, because what you're gonna find is that normally you tend to like kind of eat whatever you want for.
I haven't been doing that.
Exactly. So what's gonna happen is your food is gonna get really high, and you're gonna look really good. Are you using H2?
No, I'm
No. Okay.
not allowed to use growth. I did not use growth during the prep.
Okay. I didn't either.
Yeah, because for me, being an African American descent, growth hormone tends to really thicken out our skin. So if we use growth, it kind of makes it harder to get conditioned. That's why you barely ever see any black dudes super conditioned unless they're just really old.
Yeah. I was just curious, because that always that made me look insane last year post show. But yeah, you're gonna be eating a ton of food, and your look is just gonna be improving, and it's gonna be.
Yeah. I think right now I'm at like 3,100, 2,900 calories. That's likely going to go up. Probably not. But I would like to just stay as lean as I can all year.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I build a tissue that I need. Because he's like, yeah, in 12 weeks, we're going to add 8 to 10 pounds if we do this right. And I'm like,
for
if we do
you?
this right, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll have I'll have I don't want to say like health phase. I'll have like a phase where I just back off and just go on 150 TRT for like 3 months just to kind of chill and relax.
Yep.
And then the Olympia prep starts for 24 fucking weeks.
Yep.
Bro, 24 weeks.
You're going to learn this year what it's like to be a white guy. The only difference is that you are going to make a drastic amount of progress that I do not make doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. I'm already like looking fuller, bigger, and just like overall just tighter. I think right now I'm at like 197 off the bat, but I'm not like fat or anything like that. I'm still keeping my 20K plus steps, mainly because it's sort of like a habit now. But I have more food, so I'm just gonna stay leaner and just fucking just grow regardless. So yeah.
Yeah, he dropped my steps down. He said I only need to do like 8 to 10K, but I not even purposely am getting 13 plus not trying.
Yeah.
So like I think I'm already at 10 and it's 3 o'clock.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it's just part of my job is I walk a lot. So and then I'm not doing cardio and I will say that I was a lot better this year post show as far as like, my eating habits. Don't get me wrong, like I wouldn't enjoy, but having 2 burgers between prejudging and finals, I was pretty full. And, I'd had a bunch of food all week anyways, so I was pretty full, but I did have something very weird happen to me on Sunday. I don't know if I ate something bad or if my body just rejected like bad food. But I ended up throwing up a bit.
Oh jeez.
But I wasn't like stuffing myself to the point to where like my stomach hurt or anything like that. And the meal that I had beforehand was a bowl of cream of rice and protein powder and fruit. So it wasn't even, and it had been like several hours since I had any real food. I had had a couple like nuts, like candied almonds, just like a handful, not even a lot. And then I'd had a couple bites of this blueberry coffee cake that my friend's girlfriend made me, but that was it. And then that bowl of cream of rice, and I just got about an hour later, I was drinking water and I just got really nauseous. And
It was like
I violently vomited and I slept for about 30 minutes to an hour. And I woke up and I rehydrated, ate some saltine crackers, and went to bed.
I mean, at least you kept it pretty good. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
a good thing. So that means like your post show is gonna be pretty nice.
I was pretty watery yesterday. I woke up at like 2:05, which I didn't understand because of what happened the day before. But I dropped like 6 pounds, so I was like 199 this morning. And I'll expect, because I'm back on plan, 100%. I'm expecting to be back to that 193, 194 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think like Saturday and Sunday, I kind of ate the donuts and something else.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's like Saturday, I had like donuts, 6 donuts, and then a burger and some fries. And then I was like, I could go for more, but because I want to win so badly in the future, I was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
It sucked to say that because I could have ordered another like 3 boxes of donuts.
I actually haven't had donuts yet.
Yeah, they were like fucking big ass donuts.
And I haven't had Oreos either. And I normally have Oreos by now.
Yeah, I usually would have Kit Kats by now.
Yeah.
They have not.
I did have one Kit Kat. I had one Kit Kat yesterday.
Was it good?
Kit Kats are my favorite.
They're my favorite too, dude.
That's my chocolate. Like that's my candy. Like Kit Kats are my jam. It's just a regular OG Kit Kat. I just had one. It was the only thing I had off plan yesterday. So.
Well, I do get access to like cheat days, but then when I'm like eating like 365 grams of carbohydrates, I just don't feel the need to like go out of the diet because I feel like that's so much food.
Yeah, this year like I do get a free meal, but like, and so my wife is throwing this little girls' Christmas thing on Friday, so I'm going out to eat with some of the husbands. And so I was like, I'm gonna go there's this Mexican food place that I like. They make an al pastor pizza. I was like, I'm gonna go have that pizza. Like, this is gonna be great. And then today I'm like walking around and I'm like, man, I feel really good. I was like, if I go and eat like an asshole, like I'm gonna feel bad. My weight's gonna jump up. Andrew's not gonna bump my normal food up as much, and my body's not gonna be functioning as well. Like maybe we just go have sushi, and maybe we just save this for when I'm like bulking, not rebounding, and my food's already really high, and you're not gonna be able to notice it the next day. Yeah.
Pretty much.
And Christmas is next week anyways, and I'm gonna gorge on some freaking mac and cheese because we make an amazing mac and cheese. So, and that's like 4 days later.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough not being able to go back to my old habits of just like fuck you what.
Yeah.
It really is. But
It's gonna be a mind game for you that you'll just have to constantly remind yourself how bad do you want this.
well, it's I've already taken care of it pretty easily because I
Okay.
think the desire of placing top five is a lot more important than me eating food.
Yeah. So when I told my wife, I said, "Hey, Paul qualified for the 25." She's like, "Does that mean we're going to the Olympia?" I was like,
It's like maybe. Yeah,
"If we don't have a kid this year, maybe.
maybe.
If you're not pregnant, you know."
Maybe. Yes. But yeah, like you know how some people are just like, yeah, they want to like shock the world kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
Like I don't care about any of that. I just wanna go in there and just get my top five. Like I
bro.
don't care about
If you
shocking the
go in
world.
and get a top 5 placement, you will shock them.
I guess it's a
You're
byproduct.
that's gonna be your first time at the O getting top 5. That's a big freaking deal. I mean, you're talking about competing next to Terrence and Breon and Ramon and Urs. Like, as a matter of fact, you've got to beat one of those guys to be top 5.
Yeah.
Think about
Um
that.
Breon's pretty much about to be out the
I
way.
think I think Breon's your
I think
closest.
this year I'm taking this.
Yes, sir. I fucking love it. Let's
Like this
go,
year,
Paul.
because I was very, very upset in July when I
Yeah,
couldn't even come close to him. But this year I'm taking this one. I'm taking Breon's fucking spot. Like I don't care. Yeah, because like so what I did, I actually like legit this prep was the first time where I did homework as in like I looked at a lot every day when I had time. I would watch the 2024 Olympia and then just look at everyone that's there, see like where they fuck up, what they're I'm going to be doing this the entire fucking year because those habits are not going to quit themselves. So just see like where they're fucking up, see where you can beat them, see what they have on you and what they don't, and just continuously just look at that and then fixing those parts so that way like when you actually get up there, you kind of already know where they're gonna get fucked up, and you can kind of just edge them out in posing, or you can just edge them out in condition, or edge them out in like where you need to edge them out. Like I don't think many people do that, but I'm willing to invest the time and effort to do that and watch those fucking Olympia replays every fucking day, just so I can kind of just like say, because most of the guys, I'm not trying to be cocky. If I come in just a little bit bigger, most of the dudes they aren't really that much impressive after the top five. Like Michael DeBole is like big and massive, 100%. He's
I don't
just
I don't
big.
really like Michael.
Yeah. So
I think structurally, like he's taller than you, I think, but I think you have better shape than him. You have better muscle bellies than him, and if you the only thing that he has over you is he gets peeled, right? And if you get peeled and with that added tissue, that won't be a problem at all.
I'm super.
Yeah, I think it's a real possibility, especially if you come in with that extra 10 or 15 pounds of tissue. It'll be crazy to watch.
Yeah, like because there's the health phase
Hmm.
that's going to happen around March all the
Yep.
way up until the end of I think May. So I'll be like fully refreshed.
Hmm.
I tend to grow into a show once androgens are reduced. So there's a potential chance I'm going to get an extra 1 to 2 pounds and just get leaner going into the Olympia. So yeah,
You better be ready to hurt more than just a couple days.
yeah, yeah. So I'm willing to suffer now so I can kind
Good.
of just enjoy. You know what my dream is when it comes to bodybuilding? It's not even about winning the Olympia. It's mainly about like everyone there is genetically gifted. Everyone there is just genetically just
Hmm.
amazing and impressive. It's about standing up to the next to the best of the best in the whole bodybuilding world for that respective division and just beating. Because it all comes down to genetics at the end of the day. But if your genetics is so superior enough to beat most of those top guys,
as long as the hard work matches. Yeah, right. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, I think that, yeah, for me, I just want to make a name for myself and I want to be respected within the industry. And I want bodybuilding to be able to pay for my lifestyle, right? Um, or bodybuilding and fitness, right? I know you already kind of live that life. I'm just hoping to get there.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess it kind of looks like I do. I don't know. I guess yeah. I guess I do because I coach
Well,
and I
yeah,
do the whole.
right.
Yeah. So I
Coaching
guess
is your full time job.
basically,
And then, bodybuilding, right? Bodybuilding directly may not be paying your bills.
yeah. But it
Fitness
could.
is,
It
yeah.
could if I give
You're
myself.
not far from it, right? Especially you get a top five at the end. You might have
Yeah. Yeah.
some pretty good offers coming your way, Yeah, I think that we're gonna see how my off season goes. I want to do a few things differently this year
Mhm.
that I'll talk to Andrew about that I think are gonna yield better results.
Mhm.
Just because I've kind of noticed that, like, even though I may not be stressed, it seems like my body is. And I think that that's one thing we did right during this prep this year. And that's why my prep was so easy, is because we paid attention to it and pulled back those stressors instead of pushing them harder and deeper like we normally would. And I
Mhm.
think that allowed me to get leaner, much leaner and easier, right? Like, I only suffered probably a total of 14 days, like, that really hurt.
Mhm.
Other than that, like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
This was easy in comparison to preps for me, and I was much leaner than I've ever been.
That's kind of what we did because like I tend to find that in previous years, most coaches that I've worked with, they tend to bring my food so low. It tends to
Mhm.
be like so low to the point where like I have to binge eat somehow just because the food is so low. But like this time, 2,400 calories
Yeah,
plus getting those steps in and doing cardio 7 times a week, it felt like nothing
yeah,
because I had energy.
yeah,
You know, I wasn't stressed out or anything. And then I would do my cardio in the morning, and then the rest of the day I would walk. That's not really stressed. It's good. So I was always burning fat, burning calories.
yeah. I think that's one of the things that I did that helped, is that I kept my steps consistently at a certain level. They got worked up over time. I think they were started at like 13, and then 14 and 15.
Mm.
But in previous years, we never really paid that much attention to it. And so obviously, like, when I'm at work, I'm sitting in my car more often. And I even found myself doing that this year where I was sitting in my car more.
Mm.
And so I had to force myself to go get those steps in to make sure that I still hit you know, I paid for it because I had to go for longer walks. But at the end of the day, the steps still got in. And I think that really allowed me to get a lot leaner, a lot easier, anyways. It kept my cardio down, anyways. So I think this off season, I want to try to. Normally, we just kind of hop into like whatever dose I'm going to use. It just kind of jumps straight to there,
Mm.
especially with long esters. This year, I think I want to talk to him and let's titrate them up a little slower
Mm.
and introduce less, overall stress from that perspective. And because I've found that generally my best response comes from training 4 days a week. Well, maybe if we, titrate those drugs up, maybe I can bump it to 5 and we can get more training out of it. I don't know. We'll see.
I think that's usually like a bit like a really good idea because there's quite some few things that I've noticed when it comes to training. Um, I think the best training split, in my opinion, is 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off.
Mhm.
Because every time you train, let's say you train certain body parts, like you're not like totally crushed from the previous session. And then you have that 1 day in between where like you're fully rested, whatever session that you did prior, and then you go into the next one just fully refreshed and you smash that again. And then like all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool. My next off day is coming right up. And you just repeat that and rotate that. It's like, it's such a perfect split that it literally doesn't like, it gives you time to rest, chill, and recover. Because like one of the things when it comes to like training for most people, that they usually do is like people just push, 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 and push. But if you were to just push just enough just to hit close to the wall, don't hit the wall, hit close to the wall and just back off. In terms of like biology, that's usually how adaptation happens. You kind of adapt to it and then you do it again. You adapt it, it just becomes easier and easier and easier.
Yeah. So the only problem, I've done that before, but for me, I can't do it right now with the way my life is. I have to train, just do like structurally, I need to be doing the same things on Monday, the same things every Tuesday, the same thing every Wednesday. So it's like, it doesn't matter what I'm training that day, but it needs to be like the same training days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because of everything else that I've got going on, like I have to make sure that I'm not having to move things around too much, because then I've got to move clients around, then I've got to move, podcasts around, then I've got to move,
Work,
other stuff around. So
to do with wife and all that stuff around.
yeah. So it has to be the same every day. So I can't do 2 on, 1 off because there's 7 days in a week.
Yeah.
So generally what it normally is, it's 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off. Or I've done it in the past where it's 2 on, 1 off, 3 on, 1 off.
Like a push pull legs off upper lower kind of thing?
It would generally be a version of that, depending on what body part I was trying to bring up.
Okay.
Is what I would structure to have twice a week. So like, if I were to do that now, I would definitely have one dedicated arm day, and I would probably hit back, glutes, and hamstrings twice a week.
Not bad. That's probably what I'm sort of doing. I kind of want to focus more on glutes. Yeah, I got like pretty peel on the glutes this time, but I don't train them as much. I did a little bit of like abductors, so those helped a little bit. But I want to like directly just train the glutes, so it just looks much better. Because I know at the Olympia, some of these guys just have like crazy ass fucking glutes, and they're just like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, my glutes are so shallow that I have to add some tissue there, especially because I've got like loose skin there. Because when I get fat, all my fat goes to my butt. And so I really have to focus on putting on a decent amount of tissue there this year, and hopefully just staying a little bit leaner. That way it doesn't like stretch out the skin more. Yeah. I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. Whenever that happens, your mic goes way down and that noise goes up. And I don't know what that noise is, but
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Now I was just saying, like, us just being really lean this year, just trying to manage that out is probably going to be the best progress that you're likely going to be making.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that.
Every time.
Go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
How's your coaching business going this week?
My coaching has been kind of stalled out for a little while. Yeah, it's just kind of, I'm not losing clients, but I'm not gaining them either. So it's the same subset of clientele. I didn't win anything like you did, so I'm sure your inquiries went up pretty big. No?
No.
Really?
Yeah. It never really goes up for me.
Okay.
As much as people think it does when they win. I have my current clients and they just refer out other people who want to like be coached. And I usually get most of my clients through my current clients. But in terms of like bodybuilding, winning a show and stuff like that, nah. People don't care that much unless you're like at the top, and then they're gonna be like. That's why I did that post earlier, because I know people just care about the popularity thing. It's like, hey, you just got an Olympian level status. Well, I'm gonna try to see them go coach. So I did get like a good amount of referrals. I had to like can them all out because I've been posting about coaching for like 3 fucking months. That I have spots available, but nobody paid attention. And when I suddenly just win a show, they now fucking care. No, you can fuck off. You can literally just fuck off. So like I have to screen people very, very hard rather than
Okay.
just take whoever comes my way. Like I get it, it's like more money, but I just don't. I just
Yeah. When you care about coaching and you put a lot of time into your people, you don't care to just take a bunch of people's money.
yeah. I generally do not care about this way. I just generally help people.
Mhm.
I want people to be the best, and I don't want genetic freaks. I don't fucking want somebody who's just genetically elite. Yes, that will get me more clients, but that's what everyone else is fucking doing these days. Like, you're not doing much work coaching someone that's just genetically gifted. A
Yeah.
fucking dog could
I'm
coach.
much more I'm much more impressed by somebody that takes somebody from nothing to something, right?
Exactly.
That transforms somebody's physique. For sure.
Yeah. Like, I got this one Indian guy who, for the longest time, I was just like, man, I'm doing a fucking horrible job. I don't know how to do this. And I don't understand why he's not making progress. And I've just been so pissed about it for like almost 2 years. But then like he's about like a few days out and dude fucking looks great. And it's sometimes very hard to get individuals like that to make good progress.
Yeah.
So I was like super happy about it because I was just like, finally, yes.
Hey, I've had to consult with Andrew on clients before because I
Mm,
just could not get them to respond. It's like no matter what I did, they just weren't. It just wasn't going anywhere. And so for those client for one client in particular, he gave me things that like you only learn through experience, basically. Like
mm,
they're not things that you would apply you're not going to read about them in some scientific study. Like most people aren't going to talk about them. You learn them through experience and they work, right?
mm.
Just stuff like, how fast to adjust something or how hard to pull or push or, X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I've had to consult with people that know more than me before, people that have more experience, and it seems to pay off.
What I do, I actually pay my coach, my ex-coach, just to learn,
Hmm.
have the other there together.
Hmm.
But I really think the one that I had as a coach before, he's like book smart. He's like
Yep.
book smart. He can like read shit and just know it book smart. Where Phil Viz is book smart and he's also like experimental
Hmm.
and just experience wise in terms of like bodybuilding,
Yep.
you know? So like learning from these two individuals has been really nice because it allows me to just be a better coach for my clients. So like every other 2 weeks, I would sit with my previous coach, and just ask questions, do this. Sometimes it's not even bodybuilding related. It's sometimes specific like sports
Hmm.
related, or like coaching football players or like coaching other people. Because like bodybuilding's cool, but I want to kind of like learn a little bit more about like coaching powerlifters, coaching
Yeah.
athletes, and stuff like that. Because I don't just want to just coach bodybuilders. I want to coach everyone, but I want
Yeah.
to be good enough to be able to manage everyone. Because I love to coach more than I love bodybuilding, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah. 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 There's something really satisfying about helping someone achieve their goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, man. I've always loved helping people and I've always had like a passion for it. Like even growing up, like I always thought that I was going to be like a paramedic or a firefighter or a police officer. I think police officer was the first one to go, to be honest. But like it was always down a route of helping people, and then it kind of went to physical therapy and stuff like that. It was never about money or anything like that. And then I fell in love with bodybuilding, and then through all of my bad experiences is when I realized like, oh, coaching, right? This is how I help people.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt. Like when I
Yeah.
was younger, I was heavily into just want to just help and protect people.
Hmm.
But when I found bodybuilding, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to like do this stuff. And I know that I knew from the very beginning, like, okay, I may have good genetics. People may not take me seriously because they'll just be like, it's fucking Paul. cool.
Yeah.
All throughout my entire like school years, it's always just been like, you're like the fucking first black dude they pick, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they're just always like, oh, Paul, you're great. I'm just like, yeah, cool. I never get it. And nobody really takes me seriously because they're just like, oh, cool, whatever. It's just fucking Paul. You know what I mean? So like, when it comes to like bodybuilding and I really want to make like a great impact and just like helping people definitely don't take me seriously because they're just like, oh, that dude's just on drugs and he's just got really good genetics. Probably doesn't have to do anything. So they just don't really listen to what I have to say because of that particular reason. It's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. So that's why I kind of just like learn as much as I could, get more idea of what I could then, rather than just like, you look like you have good genetics. Yeah, but I also know shit, because most pros who just have amazing, tremendous genetics, they just focus on just bodybuilding and that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't technically learn more outside of it rather than what their coach basically tells them or teaches them, and just copy that and then apply that. And then their coach, because they're applying what someone else says and whatever, not like their own unique, interesting ideas. So I wanted to just be a little bit different and just be both, but not because I have great genetics, because all my life I've been told that, and it's fucking depressing, if I'm being honest.
So you were absolutely right in that most bodybuilders with great genetics that grow really well and have really beautiful shape, they tend to know very little. I did a peak week. I had a thought, and I went live on my coaching page, and I was talking about like, how do you know what a coach is good at when they're first starting coaching? And obviously we develop skill sets as we gain experience. But when I first started coaching, I was good at putting muscle on people because I do not grow muscle easily. It takes a lot of effort for me to put on tissue. So I've had to get creative and really figure out how to do so, right? So I felt like that was a skill set of mine. Whereas, I know other people that really struggle to get lean. And so you have to get creative and figure out, how do I get lean, right? And that makes you better at getting people lean because you gain experience through that and trying to figure out how to do it yourself, right? So I've met a lot of coaches when they start out that they don't really have much of anything. And I think that that's one of the problems with coaching in general, is that you could be a good salesperson and then you get somebody with really good genetics that does really well. And then all of a sudden your coaching blows up and you're ruining people's health and putting them on drugs that you don't understand. And you're doing things to them that it's super unfortunate. And I've seen it happen a lot.
Yeah, and then eventually, like, they will get the ones who are just genetically gifted and can handle all that shit without any problems, and then they just throw them out there. It's the fucking most annoying thing in the world. It's like, you're not good at your job. You just have somebody that's really good at his job, and you're just taking credit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard, oh my God, a couple of things. I've heard stories of guys that place like top 5 at the Arnold and top 5 at the Olympia that are across all divisions, that are like 2 weeks out eating bags of candy. Like, whatever. Yeah. Super frustrating. That are going to the strip club the night before the show. Yeah. Bro.
My genetics are not that good.
No.
So I can't do that shit. So fuck that.
But those guys don't win.
Oh, okay.
No. Those guys aren't winning, but they're placing high occasionally. Yeah. So I actually found a fun fact. I did know that Andrew and Phil were friends, but apparently, like, they're a little bit closer than I thought, because Andrew was getting pictures of you, has been getting pictures of you for weeks. I was like, oh yeah, I actually do a podcast with him. Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I've known Andrew for quite a bit since 2010 when he
Okay.
was with Meadows. I think that's also another thing. A lot of people don't really realize that I've been here so much longer than they think.
2010. Yeah. Good Lord.
I've been here for quite a bit. I know most of the guys way back when, Matt
Yeah.
Porter, Andrew, Meadows, John Otis, a whole bunch of other people that I've like interacted with. Like I know fucking Alan Aragon by like Friendly Matters. I know fucking Matt Otis
Yeah.
and like literally everyone. So like I'm pretty known with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew is pretty chill. I think I met him when I came back to the States after finishing off with Ireland, and I talked to him for quite a bit because it's been so long since I met him. The last time I met him was all the way back when I was younger. So
Yeah.
it's been quite a bit. But yeah, Phil was telling me the same thing. He was just sending pictures, and then Andrew was just receiving them and stuff like that. I'm sure Andrew was just like, whatever, it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, but it really is kind of one thing that I thought about this weekend is it was kind of unfortunate that our shows were on the same date because I
mm,
felt like, at least on Instagram, anyways, I felt like your win was overshadowed by nationals as far as social media is concerned because it
yeah,
was a show in another country and all literally still, if I open my Instagram,
mm.
75% of it is still nationals.
Oh, that's completely fine because it may not look like it was. It's probably not overshadowed. Again,
What is that? Okay. It's the fan kicking on trying to cool it down.
yeah. So like my win wasn't like overshadowed. It's just people just choose to ignore it because they know I'm coming. That's literally it. It's like they've been watching for
Yeah,
quite a while, but they never thought like I would amount to anything.
100%.
But now they kind of like shit.
You were that guy with the potential,
Yeah,
and if you just put it together,
yeah,
it's dangerous. Well, you
yeah.
just put it together, right? Now, you still have some improvements to make,
Definitely, always, 100%.
but the fact that you got conditioned was the hard part. Like, that's what you needed to do, right? I know a couple of other guys that are like that too. Like, they need to get conditioned and then they can fix, like, if they need to put on weight or whatever the case is,
Yeah,
and they'll be dangerous.
yeah. That's all. Like national winners can have their freedom. It's whatever they deserve it. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about the publicity. That's why I haven't posted any other pictures of my competition because I just
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. And I just went straight back into posting about informative videos and helping people out. Because, like, when I want to get ready for a competition, I always look good regardless.
Hmm.
But, like, when I'm in my off season, I just don't give a fuck. So I don't like post these like pictures like everyone else does. There's this one fucking kid on Instagram who literally like I'm not gonna say name, but like he literally just posts throwback pictures of himself every single time. And then like all of a sudden out of nowhere, he's like, "Oh, I have body dysmorphia, and this is what I look like right now." Like, no fucking shit, dude. Like, no fucking
Yeah.
shit. And then he's bitching about making. I guess he's bitching about his body dysmorphia while making money off how he looks. Like this fucking dude. It's like, dude,
Kick
you
rocks.
know what you're doing.
Yeah, kick rocks, man.
Yeah.
Like, the truth of the matter is that, like, I don't care what I care what I look like right now in the sense of, am I progressing? Am I where I need to be? But like, what I care about is that look on stage. Is it better or is it worse? Right? Like that's it.
Unless you're just driven. What's you look like.
Mhm.
Like,
Hey, look, I once my weight got so low, I had an honest conversation with Andrew. I said, "Hey, look, I'm trying to set my expectations right. I think that considering like how small I am and how much more tissue that I need, I think if I got top five, like I would be really happy. I'd be really happy if I just got top five." And then I'm standing backstage and I'm looking at the size of everybody around me and I can see their conditioning and I'm like, okay, they're peeled. Most of these guys are much larger than me
mm,
because I'm already on the shorter end of class C. Like,
mm,
well, I'm 5'10" and a half, I guess, but it's 5'10" up to 6 foot, right? And like the guy that won my class, I actually got to see him pose in Andrew's Airbnb. because Andrew coaches his wife and is really good friends with his coach.
Mm-hmm.
And he weighed in, or like his lowest body weight fasted was like 205.
Okay.
And he measured at 5'10 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already 15 pounds heavier than me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And everybody was like that. Everybody was 15, 20 plus pounds heavier than me.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I even got 11th, like, I'm happy. I'm okay.
I'm like on the opposite end of that spectrum. So like I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum, where like I was very small compared to everyone else. Everyone was fucking way taller than me, and to be honest, man, I don't know how I won, but I knew I needed to win. But I'm still holding the opinion that like everyone else was just like so much bigger and larger than I am, and I also look at myself as like I'm not like big enough, no matter where I'm at.
Yeah.
Um, Winning the Olympia ticket was okay, you know. It wasn't like it's like earth shattering kind of thing. It was okay because the goal was to get to the Olympia inevitably, but it wasn't like the end all be all currently because the main goal right now is to get that top five.
Top five.
That's what matters the most. Like I won't be happy or at least satisfied till I get that top
This
five.
was a step.
Yeah, this was like a step that I just needed to climb. Like I wasn't like I wasn't like crying my eyes out like I finally won my Olympia kind of thing. Like cool. But I was just more of like finally got what I needed and now on to the next step. I didn't really enjoy the winning aspect of that show, but I enjoyed meeting everyone. It was great.
So I think that on the pro level, when we're talking about like size, I think that it looks at more like muscularity because you're not competing against guys that are the same height as you, right? And so you're just talking about filling out your frame and how does that look, right? Whereas when I'm competing at the national level, I'm only on stage with guys that are within an inch or two of me. So our muscularity differences are much more, I feel like it plays a bigger factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm 10 or 15 pounds lighter than the guy that's next to me that's the same height as me, right? Like that muscularity difference is much more obvious, right? Yeah. So even though you technically may have been smaller, like I feel like you probably didn't look smaller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go once we're done. I'm gonna go to NPC News and see if they posted.
It's not there yet.
It's not there yet. Okay.
I've been checking every freaking hour just to kind of see because I don't have any picture of myself at the show. I didn't take.
So you're really trying to look for some.
Yeah, I'm really trying to see like how everything actually looked.
Yeah,
because I don't know how things looked.
Yeah, I'm super excited for my Gilco pictures to come in.
Yeah.
So
I think your picture's already in.
Huh? No, the stage photos are the official like NPC News stage photos are, but not the Gilco professional pictures and videos that I paid for.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Gilco was going to be there, so I was like, they do the best job. I'm paying to have that because I look good right now. Like I look really good. And I liked my look for the stage, so I just need more muscle tissue. But all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. And I will talk to you next week, Paul. Have a good week, brother.